Hey, welcome. And we're going to discuss the TikTok global business model, their organizational design, structure, and change for the future. This is today's agenda. We're going to talk about an introduction, which gives some key details about the company TikTok. We're going to discuss the major issues, the ramifications because of their organizational structure, detail exactly what the organizational structure is and the issues that they're running into. And we're going to talk about the values that the company and the organization have and what to do to bring on some change for everything that's happened lately and things that could change to their organizational structure to make them a better company. All right, so in this introduction, I want to talk about a few things. Now, TikTok is the most used social media app by watch time, making it very profitable and a good partner for any business that would like to make a profit with TikTok. TikTok is a global business that offers a creator program for over 2 million creators. 2 million of those creators in the TikTok creator program are mostly from the United States. A lot of them are from the United States, and people use TikTok as a business through other means that we'll talk about later. Now, the Supreme Court unanimously decided that the risk to national security posed by TikTok's ties to China outweighs concerns about limiting speech by the app or its popularity, with 170 million users in the United States, making it one of the most frequent used apps in the United States, and it currently held the rank as number one on all of the app stores. TikTok, the short form video app owned by the Chinese company ByteDance, was unavailable on Saturday, the 18th of January, until a pause was implemented in the United States as a result of a new law that banned the company's app in the country. Now, we're going to discuss how its organizational structure and lack of communication led to this ban and how it can be rectified in the future. First, let's talk about some of the major issues that TikTok is facing right now. Now, Fortune magazine ranks global businesses on its most admired list by their effectiveness in doing business globally. So this is only for those businesses that are overseas and operate in a global capacity. So TikTok is a global company because its home base, ByteDance, is in China. Now, TikTok is underperforming in doing effective global business due to bans in some of the biggest markets in the world, mostly because of security concerns. Now, most countries who have banned TikTok have listed the app as one, either being too addictive, or two, there being too many security concerns because the app and the company have to report intel to China. The demands of global leadership, management, and business education are complex. The US has requirements that Indonesia might not, and etc. So different countries have different requirements. Indonesia is one of the other biggest markets for TikTok and has a huge user base, but their requirements might not be the same requirements as the United States. And we'll talk about how its organizational structure could probably limit some of these situations in the future. Or for anybody who chooses to create an app that might be as successful as TikTok, some of the lessons they could learn. TikTok fails to get buy-in from governments beforehand, leading to bans in countries. India is also a country with over 1 billion people, and it also banned TikTok as of recently. And potentially the US might be banning TikTok. They'll be missing out on billions of possible users and creators. Facing a permanent ban in the United States of America, the most active and influential user base. Most of the trends are ran by Americans on the app. So due to their organizational structure and how they have to report to the government in China, it limits a lot of the things that TikTok is able to do. Now, these are some of the ramifications. Now, the ramifications because of the organizational structure of TikTok are that lawmakers and US officials have sounded the alarm for years about the supposed risk that TikTok's ties to China poses to national security. And Congress moved last year to force TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, to sell its stake in the app or be cut off from the US market. Now, recently, we've seen them cut off in the US market, but only for a short time, only for 12 hours. But the effects of that was said to cost $300 million in damages for just that one day. Now, on his first day back in office, President Donald Trump issued an executive order that extends the ban of TikTok, 75 days to be exact of the day that it was signed, which briefly went dark in the US. but the legal logistics of the order remain uncertain, as has much regarding TikTok's future. So right now, they're still hanging in the balance unless they find a US buyer. Due to their organizational structure, all Chinese companies must report intel to the Chinese government. If this could have been avoided and the company could have been started anywhere but China, they would have had an opportunity to limit a lot of these countries from banning the app. Now, under the federal legislation, which remains in place despite Trump's order, companies could be fined $5,000 per user they help access TikTok. For Google and Apple, this could mean a $5,000 fine for each user who downloads or updates TikTok. For internet hosting services like Oracle, it could mean a $5,000 fine for each user that accesses TikTok using their services. Okay, so let's talk about TikTok's organizational structure, and maybe we can get an idea for where this could have been avoided. Now, TikTok is currently run by ByteDance, a company that is ran well in China, but also uses US servers to host some of the US content creator data. This organizational structure is against the newly passed law. Chinese national security laws require organizations to cooperate with intelligence gathering. Now, a lot of countries have an issue with this, having their intel of their citizens being gathered by an app and then reported immediately to China. It seems like a bad situation for anybody who's trying to run a government and maintain its level of security. With billions of active users, TikTok leads the global app download charts and significantly impacts user behavior. So with that ability, they have a lot of impressionable people out there, young adults or whatnot, who countries wouldn't want to give that power to. As one of the fastest growing platforms, TikTok has become essential for brands to engage with diverse audiences. Some characteristics of TikTok, however, have led to heightened public concern over privacy risks. Video sharing on social media often entails sharing extensive personal information, creating greater public visibility, meaning that anybody who downloads the app is required to sign up with some of their personal data that could be an issue for any country. Now, this is why at its core, I think that TikTok practices conscious capitalism. TikTok must sell to a United States-based company to remain and regain access to the US customer base and creators, and there's several of people who are looking to buy TikTok. There are several companies who have reached out, billionaires and lots of CEOs who are trying to put a deal on the table where TikTok had initially felt like they were never going to sell. It looks like, according to recent reports, that they will possibly sell. Now, General Atlantic CEO Bill Ford, a ByteDance board member, said Wednesday that it's in everyone's interest to keep the app active. They're planning for a potential sale. Now, this aligns with conscious capitalism because I believe them being able to go to the table, collaborate with a country, and just issue off the US-based company for sale shows that they want to give the users and the creators who benefit and who actually profit off of the use of TikTok and use it for all of its benefits, be it for fundraising or anything like that, an opportunity to still use the app. The premise behind conscious capitalism is that the business should operate ethically while they pursue profits. And to this point, TikTok has done that. Principles of conscious capitalism are met through Creator Program Fund, which pays creators like myself, quick source for fundraisers, and awareness of hot issues globally. Now let's talk about the change, the necessary improvement using Kotter's 8-step change model. Now, when using Kotter's 8-step change model, we'll use these steps initially and talk about each one of them. Now, first, create a sense of urgency to get TikTok with the US company. Build a guiding coalition within the countries and governments of its most successful markets, being US, Indonesia, and Brazil. Work with those governments to create a strategic vision for creators. Enlist a volunteer army. Large-scale change can only occur when massive numbers of people rally around a common opportunity. Enable action by removing barriers. Work on new legislation in new markets. Generate short-term wins. Sustain acceleration. Be relentless with initiating change after change until the vision is a reality. And institute that change. And the biggest change they could do to help its markets in the United States is to collaborate with a US company. Now, this is our plan for change and managing those changes. Use a strategy that can increase global relations as a global company. Become more transparent with data stored and how it is used with the United States government. Create an organization structure outside of the Chinese government if possible. Use Cotter's 8-step change model to help enact that change. Now, these are the lessons learned. Understand the laws and the rules for each country you deal with as a global organization. Get ahead of any laws that could hinder success. Build cohesive relationships with every country you have business. Come with a strategy early to prevent these hurdles in the future by already finding a business in the United States to partner with. Lobby for your company's interest beforehand so this never happens. TikTok waited too long. The best thing they could have done is got ahead of this and lobbied with Congress beforehand or put a plan in process to implement that change that would meet the laws that were coming on board. Also, come to the global market with clear privacy guidelines and address all concerns early. Now, these are the references for some of the things that we've talked about today, but I do wish the best for TikTok, and I like using the app, and I like the fact that they pay its creators, and I really do believe this is a company that practices conscious capitalism. And with that, thank you.